It's that time of the day. It's the 4th Street Sports Show. Let's get it. It is that time of the day. It is your host, Smooth Oz, with you, alongside my guys for the last ride, guys. In the studio here in College Hall on WUSM 88.5. 4th Street is going to have a new turnover, guys, coming in the future, and Dima will lead that way. But for the rest of us, for myself, Charlie, Jackson, and Nathan, we're going to be out here soon. But before that, the party is not over, guys. Let's make this a great one. But just to open up, guys, we got to talk a little bit about baseball on a 10-game win streak, guys. 10-game win streak right now, back in the top 25. So baseball is rolling, man, right now. And Dima, you have a lot on that, and we'll talk about that a little later. But without further ado, before we hop into our show, you know we do our Eagle Eye. And we lost a great one this past week that we would like to honor. And I'll pass it over to you, Charlie, about that.
Yeah, there's been a lot of great things that have happened this year for Southern Miss Athletics. But unfortunately, we've lost a lot of legends here just in this past year. We covered this year Corky Palmer, Ray Guy, and unfortunately now Tori Bowie. Really just, looking over her accomplishments when we heard the news, she's really probably up there. If there was a Mount Rushmore of Southern Miss athletes and figures, she should be up there. Yes. It's really unfortunate to see her go, and at such a young age. But she was a former Mississippi State champion, NCAA champion, 2-time at Southern Miss, and eventually worked her way to becoming an Olympic medalist and world champion. We were just talking about that. I remember watching the news and seeing the race, the 4x100 relay at Rio, her closing that anchor leg on that, and then also her getting bronze and silver in Rio. Just seeing, somebody that went to Southern Miss, growing up around Southern Miss, being on, the big stage with other Olympians. That was something that, she made Southern Miss proud, and she wore Southern Miss. She came back here at a football game in 2016 with her medals. She got that sign erected for her at the soccer and track field complex, and I was going back and watching her interviews, and she's real sentimental about it. She tried not to cry. I mean, you can just tell how much Southern Miss meant to her, and that's really just probably one of the most devastating things that I've heard for Southern Miss athletics while being here. So we want to pay our respects to Bowie and her family with a moment of silence. And I just want to say they held a moment of silence for her. I was at the state championships in Pearl, Mississippi, the track and field state championships, held a moment of silence for her. They talked about all of her accomplishments there. She set records there. She was a state champion there, and a lot of the younger athletes around the state kind of looked up to her. So that was real touching to see that. And, I mean, she'll continue to inspire, really. I know Brittany Reese, also another Mississippi track star, said, "Thank you for everything you did for Mississippi." And that's something, we can always look at. She'll always be inspiration for athletes in the state and at Southern Miss, too.
Yeah, I remember just, like you said, 2016 in Rio, just watching that 4x1 race. And she was that anchor leg, and commentators just saying, "Hey, Bowie's coming down the stretch. She's neck and neck." And
seeing her have the flag.
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It was truly special. Like you said, she'll definitely be missed. And for a guy myself that was a track athlete in high school, she was definitely one of the ones that truly led the way for Mississippi. And you could just see some of her records just going to the Pearl complex there in Pearl, Mississippi. You could just see the records. They have like all the record holders, and her name is up there. And you just remember like, hey, I just want to be one of the names on that board as a young athlete. And just for the kids coming up in the next generation that won state or just performing well in Mississippi, just to carry on her name, and just whoever is that next legend in Mississippi to know that Bowie was one of the forerunners in the whole thing. And like you said, Mount Rushmore of Southern Miss athletes, she was definitely up there.
Yeah, that would be a great story to try to figure out who would be up on that list.
Yeah.
She's definitely up there, and I'll call it like Mount Eaglemore or something.
Mount Eaglemore.
The crazy thing, we had a podcast earlier. We'll move on, try to do some more lighthearted stuff, but it just hit hard because some fan asked earlier, who would you want to have on the podcast? Any Southern Miss athlete, and I said Tori, just because her story is incredible.
Absolutely, and we're gonna jump into our Eagle Eye here real quick. Thoughts and prayers to their family, obviously, but let's talk softball. Southern Miss softball, they entered this weekend with a slim chance of making the Sun Belt tournament. They had to win their series and also hope that the dominoes ahead of them would fall down, and that's exactly what happened. The Golden Eagles took care of business in Atlanta. They won the series Saturday in a close 2-1 victory over Georgia State. Morgan Linestock delivered in both their wins on the weekend. She pitched 2 complete games while only allowing 2 runs and earning 17 total strikeouts. We're running out of adjectives to describe her. It's honestly unbelievable. But we're going to talk more about the Sun Belt tournament later, but the Golden Eagles have found their way into the postseason after beginning conference play with an 0-11 record. So truly remarkable for them to even make the dance. So dogs.
We'll talk about their chances and how they can fare, but the game that Morgan Linestock didn't play, not placing blame on anybody, but they lost that game. It's like she has such an impact on the team when she's out there, and the fact that she could throw 2 complete games and have that impact, especially on Sunday in such a close game with the season on the line. That's dog.
Yeah, dog. Morgan is definitely a special player and special athlete. But transferring it back over to the track, and we talked about tournaments and things of that matter. Turning over to the track, the Sun Belt Outdoor Championships are taking place this week in Conway, South Carolina, up there in Coastal. The Golden Eagles will compete at the event from Thursday to Sunday, as they also keep an eye out on Golden Eagles who are potentially heading to the NCAA East preliminary rounds later this month, where they have the possibility of going to the outdoor championships for the NCAA in early June. So that shall be fun to see. I know that there were a lot of athletes on the track team, as we interviewed Omar Austin not too long ago, and talking about his potential shot at going the distance. So that shall be fun to see just how the Golden Eagles fare going into those outdoor championships in the Sun Belt, which is their first time competing in the outdoor championships in the Sun Belt. So shall be fun to see. But without further ado, let's take a quick break and we'll come back and talk a little baseball playoff scenario and where may the Golden Eagles land in upcoming in the NCAA regionals about a couple weeks from here. So we'll be back after the break. This is 4th Street. Play the music card. You hear Charlie on the vocals right there, and she says she's just a friend. I think I said it wrong.
The vocals?
Yeah.
They
Did
said
I
that
say
they're
it
just.
wrong? Did I say it right?
He's just a friend.
Okay, yeah. I messed that up so bad. Hey, but I'll pass it over to you, Dima. Let's talk a little baseball, man.
Let's talk a little
and
baseball.
softball.
Our friend Dima.
Dimitri.
I know all y'all are leaving me.
Good.
Southern Miss, guys, they beat South Alabama
Yeah.
3 times.
The world is changing
The world-
as I'm
yeah.
graduating.
Exactly.
That did
Thanos
not
has
happen.
snapped his finger.
Yes.
The world has changed.
Scott,
People
Scott
aren't
Marion
ready
got
for
an
it.
Infinity Stone this
Yeah,
week.
it's crazy. Southern Miss baseball really clicking right now. Number 1 in win streak. The longest win streak in the country right now. 10 in a row. They are in good shape to be challenging for that number 1 seed going into Montgomery in 2 weeks. It's them and Coastal Carolina tied for first. Southern Miss really just needs a loss from Coastal Carolina because the rest of Southern Miss's schedule is very, very favorable, especially this weekend at ULM. They should be fine there. Next weekend, Louisiana at home. That'll be a good series, but so we'll see what happens there. I know we wanted to talk a little bit about Southern Miss is back in the rankings today. They're number 25 in the country. We kind of are wanting to talk a little bit about where and who, where they're going to go for a regional. And like I said when the mics were off, I think it's going to be Baton Rouge or here. I think that's where your 2 destinations are looking. Generally they don't send a bubble team to the number 1 overall seed, but with Wake Forest doing what they're doing right now,
Yes.
I'm not necessarily positive that LSU will be that number 1 seed going into the regional weekend, which could make it even more of a case to send. Because that's what they like to do. They like to send people close. That's why Southern Miss always ends up in Oxford, always ends up in Baton Rouge for real, and or LSU comes here, or State comes here, whatever it is. So I think it's either in Baton Rouge or here. I think me as a writer who will be covering this, I really want Florida. I would love a Gainesville regional. That would just be amazing. But I'm not going to complain if it's in Hattiesburg. But just so fans know, if it is in Hattiesburg, they would probably be the 16th seed, which is historically the hardest regional because you're playing all of the teams in that are on the bubble teams who everybody can compete with. Georgia Southern was the 16th seed last year, and Notre Dame went in there and destroyed them. So, and Notre Dame ended up beating Tennessee, who was the number 1 overall seed, to go to Omaha. So, I think as of now, if I had to predict, I'd say they don't host. They do go to Baton Rouge, but it's not crazy. It's not. It seemed crazy 2 weeks ago, but now it does not seem crazy.
Yeah, that's you were saying a couple of weeks ago. All they have to do is win out.
Yeah.
And don't want to jinx them, but it's along that path, and that sounded a little crazy at that time. But I think even back then we were kind of pointing out that East Carolina last year had a similar scenario, and they finished out their season on a win streak and it ended up hosting. So that's still a very good possibility.
Not as the 16th seed either.
Yeah. So it's still a very good possibility. Anything can really happen, especially with lots of these teams. There was a little shake-up this week too, so still time. I think that Louisiana series,
It's gonna be huge.
that's going to be high stakes for everyone in the Sun Belt because you still look at the Sun Belt standings and still very close.
Yeah, and I'm sorry to cut you off, Jackson, unless you're saying something, but if you're a Southern Miss fan, you're wanting Coastal to keep winning. Every time I'm at the baseball game, they'll announce the Coastal score, and Coastal's losing. They're like, I understand wanting the number 1 seed, but if you want to host a regional, you need Coastal to keep winning. You need your losses to be good, and they beat Coastal, and they really need Dallas Baptist to keep winning. Dallas Baptist was pulling them way up. Dallas Baptist lost a series this weekend. You really want Dallas Baptist to finish strong. It's hard to root against teams who, especially where you lost to against Coastal, but also you want to root for teams really good teams that you're able to beat.
Definitely. And it feels like Southern Miss's hosting chances get better as the weeks go on. I mean, this week's very favorable against Louisiana Monroe, and then Louisiana, you'd probably like their chances to at least take the series at home. But here's the thing, with their 4 pitchers right now, we
Yeah.
did not see this coming at the
Going
beginning
nuts.
of the season. Tanner Hall, we expected, but then Matt Adams, he's coming back off the injury. He's going to be in full swing by the time conference tournament comes around.
Yeah.
You've got Billy Oldham, who's really in a groove right now, and then Nico Mazza.
Nico, yeah, he's
I
looking
mean,
good.
Sunday, y'all saw what he did. 5 innings out of the bullpen, got the save, 9 strikeouts. I mean, that is quite the depth piece. if
And
I've
like
ever
this
seen
South
that.
Alabama team, just so y'all know, I think I was looking through their schedule. I don't think they've lost back-to-back games but once this year, and Southern Miss swept them.
This was a statement.
Yeah, it was like,
Yeah.
okay, we're good. Like Southern Miss, like I think Andrew Abity, our friend Andrew Abity, said it the best in the press box on Saturday. He said at the beginning of the season they were trying to piece it together.
Yes.
Right, and now they've pieced it together. Now look what they can do. And I told you on the beginning of the year, if they figure out the pitching, this is the most dangerous team in baseball just because of what they can do with the lineup and with the bottom of the lineup producing like it is right now. That is what's scary for opposing teams. Blake Johnson, Carson Pato, and Nick Monaster just going nuts right now.
I think he's been the surprise
Yeah,
of the season.
for sure.
Nick Monaster. They called him yesterday the Loch Ness Monster.
Yeah, the Loch
Ness
It's kind
Monster,
of funny. But like you said, the batting has been on point. They're hitting at a high clip right now, and the classic saying, "See the ball, hit the ball." That's what they're doing right now, and it's really driving in runs. And like we kind of figured this at the beginning of the year, though. They would have those pitching struggles.
Yeah.
You had a whole new bullpen that you were trying to adjust to, aside from Tanner,
Right.
and Matt. So you have to build off those pieces. So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I know we're kind of out of time here, but that's a big thing. The bullpen, Will Armistead,
Yes.
insane innings relief pitch on Saturday. Cross Sibley. You're getting these people out of the bullpen. Justin Storm has even looked really great over the past couple of weeks. It's exactly what Charlie predicted, honestly. They're going to have the struggle at the beginning of the season, but maybe at the end of the season, they could be what we all expected them, what everybody wanted them to be in the beginning of the season, but was ridiculous expectations for a team where you had 13 pitchers who never even thrown a collegiate pitch.
And I will say this real quick. I think Southern Miss controls their own destiny.
No, definitely.
I say if they sweep Monroe, take 2 out of 3 against Louisiana, and win the conference tournament, there's
a
going to
host.
be a Hattiesburg regional.
Oh, yeah.
Like, absolutely, that's
No
a
question.
lock. But
I think even if they made the championship game in that scenario.
that's possible, but then they still kind of leave their fate up. If you win arguably the 5th best conference in college baseball, you're going to host, I think.
Yeah, because
Especially with their RPI at that point.
I was
with that
seeing
resume.
Sunbelt's RPI was top 5, right?
Yeah, I
top
think it's
5.
4, yeah.
Yeah, so that it's insane. And as you see, I think I just was looking at it, but still around 5 teams still technically in the hunt for that Sunbelt, regular season title.
And I'll tell you, Southern Miss is the team you want in a tournament with their pitching right now. No other team I would take in the Sun Belt to win a tournament than Southern Miss.
Yeah, and especially
Not even Coastal.
especially with that batting right now. As
Yeah.
long as they can continue to pitch like this, man, and continue to hit the ball like
Right.
that, man, it's truly special. And like Danny came on,
Yeah, Danny,
Sarge, like man,
Sarge is coming.
yes,
And then Slade's just
Slade,
been
yeah,
unbelievable.
yeah.
We did want to mention softball making
Yes.
it in. Congrats to them. Started the season conference 0-11, and then end up finishing in that final 10 seed at 6-17, thanks to a late season turnaround, and Georgia Southern's 6-18, 12-game losing streak to end the season kind of gave him a chance to slip in. So Golden Eagles play Coastal Carolina in the first round of the tournament Wednesday, May 10th at 2 p.m. They lost the series to Coastal just a couple weeks ago at home, but were able to get a win against them. And the winner of that game will face the number 2 seed Marshall on Thursday, who's having a historic season.
Yes.
Yeah, but with softball, man, I remember you just talking about it last week. You were like, they still have a shot. To
They
get
really do.
in. And getting that series win against Georgia State was huge. So
Yeah.
we shall see what comes up next. If softball could outlaw some more wins, man, that would be crazy. But they do have a daunting task ahead of them.
Yeah.
But once again, congratulate them on figuring it out at the end of the season. Finding
This
way
is a
to
transition
the
year,
Yes,
too.
and it's in the transition. Yeah, that's the thing about it. And for them, I think the biggest thing was, hey, you started off at 0-11 to start the conference. You find a way to get into it, and this is a young team. All they needed was that confidence boost, and you kind of just saw the reaction after the game and just how they were elated just to make it to it. And Morgan is just, man, she's been the Ford of the program right now. She's truly special. But guys, we're gonna transition one more time. As you know, it is a special show for us. Once more, as I stated, this is our last show in studio. We'll have some more shows coming up, of course, guys. Zoom and maybe some Twitter Spaces and things here and there, especially with conference ball coming up with baseball and softball. But we kind of want to reflect. We usually have our interview segment, guys, where we do our interview and talk to somebody from Southern Miss Athletics or around the Hattiesburg community. But this time we're going to do it different, man. We just want to take time to reflect. We have a hilarious video and audio that you will hear over the radio, but we have the video out on the YouTube on the live stream. So if you are able to, go to Southern Miss Student Media and click on it and watch it on the live stream. But without further ado, we're going to play some of our best moments from the show and just recap everything with our graduating seniors, with myself, Charlie, Jackson, and Nathan. So we're going to do this, man. We're going to try not to cry while the clip plays, man. But without further ado, play it. Welcome, everyone, to the 4th Street Sports Show. Welcome back. 4th Street Sports Show. Welcome to the 4th Street Sports Show. Welcome to the 4th Street. It's that time of the day. It's the 4th Street Sports Show. Let's get it.
This is us live, Sunbelt Media Day 2, the final day of Sunbelt Media Day, which means football is just around the corner, guys. Just about 35 days until Southern Miss kicks off.
My mom always said you either have swagger or you don't, you know what I mean? So I upgraded a little bit, but no, I like to cover up my skin. I'm a little pasty, you know what I mean? So I try to cover that up and protect myself from that. But I wear the same thing every day because I tell the guys, I think the biggest compliment you can give somebody is that they're the same every day.
Ball camps and now is just what's the biggest difference?
Man, really just it's more dogs. That's really what it is,
I wouldn't say I play like my dad, but I'll say I understand the target on my back, and I understand everyone wants a little shine off me. So I'm ready for it, and they better bring their best shot coming at me.
We brought our talents to the South Beach, but unfortunately we're about to have to head out. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure to stay updated, 4th Street, on our social medias. Thank you.
Also, so actually, I'll be right back. You can continue the show.
Well, Charlie's leaving us, guys. He'll be right back. He's making a return in a little bit. But just to end things off, man, like I said, school has started now. The first day of the fall semester, and man, it was a rainy day. What's going on here?
You take it over, Jackson.
Are we singing?
Yeah, we are.
All right.
No!
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Smooth Austin. Happy birthday to you. Bro, I almost forgot. I really almost forgot.
Oh, man, I did not know what was going on. I was like, okay, Charlie's leaving us.
Yeah, this one's tough because, like Charlie, this was one of the games where I thought it was a question mark for Southern Miss, whether they could win or not. I'd say it's about 50-50 preseason. But now it feels a little bit more tougher because I don't know if any of us expected Tulane to perform like they did against Kansas State last week.
That's crazy bold, but that's the first 8 drives, 3-and-outs.
I like it.
Like, wow, it didn't even feel like that because Southern Miss's defense was just making big plays and big stops throughout the game.
Person who maybe gets some carries. I don't know. They handed the ball off to Chandler Pittman for the first play of the game last week. So I think they can get somebody else going, and maybe he breaks off a big run or something.
And we're missing Dima again. He's out in Las Vegas. He's probably at some strip clubs right now.
Well, I bet Austin's probably had it to Brewski's at this point.
Yeah. I've only been to Brewski's one time, surprisingly. But
I've never been to a strip club, surprisingly.
That's a cap. Kids say cap.
I don't know. You got to give him the side eye.
Yeah, Austin, he is,
finishing an assignment.
or he's at the club. We
don't know.
Sure.
Well, Nathan's here, so he's not with him.
Austin actually was clubbing in Orlando. If we wanna make jokes about Dima, we can actually say
There is
Austin,
no more jokes about me in the strip club after what happened.
No more
in
jokes.
Pensacola.
What happened in Pensacola? For another day.
We'll
For
leave
another
it.
day.
What happens there?
That's 4th Street after dark. Right?
I mean, just an absolute dog. 11 tackles.
I'm still gonna say Cowboys win the Super Bowl when Dak comes back. But any last thoughts, guys, before we wrap this up? And
I think nobody's listening after you said that. So might as well just, thank you for joining 4th Street. Mondays at 5.
what is happening?
Follow us on social media. Mahalo.
Mahalo. We got Mo Dogs.
Mo Dogs.
Jason Brownlee, we have your flowers right here, man. So come get your flowers. We have 3 yellow roses, man. You can give them to a special lady or whatever you want to do with them, man.
They will regret picking us 14. Because we're going to feel, and like I said, people think I'm emotional. No, Bobby, I've been doing this since 18 years old, and I'm 44. I know when I see a team that can go places.
Said I would have a stroke if my team shot 600 threes and only shot 25%. There's no way. I just told them today, shooting a mid-range jump shot, if you're shooting 18%, I'm going to break your arm.
And this is not Pete Taylor Park.
I had my jacket on, but it was so daggum hot.
It is 90 degrees.
We are about to go, but it is actually almost 89 in here, so.
Yeah, it's hot in the kitchen.
I think it's affecting our brain power at this point.
Yeah, maybe next week we can get it to like a nice 68 degrees. It's probably too cold anyway.
Let's talk about my favorite sport in the whole world, volleyball. To overcome...
You just said this game reminds you of the Super Bowl?
Yeah. The end of the first half reminded me at the end of that game.
We're comparing that game to the Super Bowl. Okay.
Keep up. But anyway, yeah.
We
An ugly win is a lot better than a
Baby! Will Hall. All right.
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better myself. Absolutely. And you might have seen me looking at Jake Lang over there, excited as ever after the game.
Looks like Charlie just got back from the Bahamas over there, though.
No, Hawaii.
Oh,
did I mention?
I did not know you had been to Hawaii.
Yeah, I've been to Hawaii.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll just steal some.
I guess we gotta buy it.
Yeah, you are an inmate, man. You may have to give us something under the table, bro.
Hey, you never know.
But yeah, so we're gonna hop into our Eagle Eye before this takes a left turn. So we'll start out with cross country. Charlie, you have some special stuff to say about cross country.
When you're talking about just an incredible performance, you think of like Jackson Smith and Jigba's unbelievable performance in the Rose Bowl, and you think about, Tua.
Coach, you see that trophy behind you? Like the best Division III player. And
Division
two. Sorry,
yeah.
my bad. Division II.
All right, third time's a charge.
We are
third time is a.
Okay.
I'm Batman, y'all. I'm Batman.
Yeah, there we go.
I don't want to say it and people, come at me, but like in Alabama, they always keep you. That defense will keep you in the game, no matter how bad they are in the season or anything. They will keep you in the game. I don't want to compare Southern Miss's defense to, Alabama's defense, but they didn't do too well today. But you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that was not a good, comparison.
I've got to start. I've got to quit.
I mean, that is college basketball where it is a back and forth game. Both teams, there was points in the game where they were jumping all over the floor, jumping in the stands, Like, the seats are like all over the place. And, and I'm looking, that's what I'm looking around this stands right now, and there's just trash everywhere.
Coach of the year, baby.
All right. Y'all about to shut the lights off? Matchup in the quarterfinal matchup here at the Sun Belt Tournament Championships in Pensacola.
You cannot have a light on during the game.
A rock is
hold on.
cooking.
Before we get started, what? Okay.
We're just going with it. It's called impromptu. This, unfortunately, is my gentleman standing to my right and left last football game with the student Prince covering. So I want to personally thank y'all, just being with me and being able to cover games with me. It's been an honor to cover this season with y'all.
Like I said at the beginning of the show, this is a sentimental show, guys. This is good. Actually our last show. That has been all from your host, Smooth Oss. To my right, Charlie, Jackson. To my left, Dima and Nathan on the keys. But that has been all from 4th Street Sports Show.
Fourth Street, you are.
That was awesome. That was so good.
I've been waiting.
Wow. I think it was when Nathan compared Alabama to Southern Miss after they needed Jake Lang to win the game at homecoming.
Shout out to Jake Lang.
Yeah, shout out to Jake Lang.
Jake Lang made an appearance.
Made an appearance in that video.
Will Hall made an appearance. Yeah.
Jake Lander, I gotta start.
I gotta quit.
That's college basketball.
We've been holding on to that one for quite a while, and there were some memes this year. The Nah clip kind of turned into a meme. We used that.
Dogs.
Yeah. Coach Hall laughing at when Dima said he won D3 championships. He made sure he was like D2. Not 3. But there's some great memories.
Oh man,
we could have made that probably like 15 minutes if we had wanted.
Yeah, I just want to just say, man, Charlie made that.
Yeah,
man,
good job, Charlie.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. I guess just reflecting on it, you don't really realize how many memories you made, man. And just seeing that, man, it was truly hilarious. But any favorite clip before we jump to a break?
I guess you can go. I don't know. Oh, we can talk.
Yeah, we're on. We got a segment here.
My bad, man. Yeah.
Favorite
Man,
clip.
golly.
Does anybody have?
I feel like, man, there's so many. I mean, I think like for me, one of the most fun I think that I had was just the behind the scenes work. We would be in the press box working and joking, or on the field doing those post game videos when we'd mess up 100 times. And,
I wish we had more.
Making fun of Austin for doing 1,000 stand-ups before we could leave the press box.
Getting the lights turned off.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we can say this now. We probably could have gotten charged for trespassing, at Troy's football.
We just sat. What did we do? We just sat in the.
I think security overlooked that we were still in the media room, which is in their coach's facility too. So we were just chilling in there, and they had already locked everything up.
Well, me and Austin got locked in South Alabama Stadium for the bowl game. We had to jump the fence.
That was what I did.
Yeah, Jackson's like, all right, I'm gone.
All right, I'm gonna head out.
What was that guy? What was the media guy's name?
The Flash.
A security guard at Hard Rock Stadium stayed behind to make sure he was like, are y'all done yet? Because they literally by the time Austin had finished his package, they had changed everything from Miami Hurricanes to Miami Dolphins. They had painted the whole Dolphin logo on the field.
They stripped off the padding.
Yes.
I was like, oh my god.
And then Austin was like, all right, I'm done. When we were done, Austin was like, I'm about to start.
See, that's where it is right there.
That guy was a legend.
He was
a goat mustache, and then he basically told us where to go. He told us to go to Fort Lauderdale. He's like, no, he said, don't go to downtown Miami, tourist trap.
Saw some baddies, according to Austin and Miami.
Hey, I remember almost dying on the wet drive back from Troy.
Yeah,
you almost killed us.
we called Dima. Dima was the green wave, according to Jackson, because he drives in 2 lanes.
Dude's getting on. He's getting on I-65 going to Troy, and he's tweeting out something, merging on the interstate.
We're just going this way, bro. We're like, Dima, we're 2 Please.
That was so funny.
Yeah, Troy, people weren't joking about Troy. The Troy experience was weird.
That was probably the dumbest thing we've ever done. I can't believe we actually went to that game.
The ride back, we're not kidding when we saw probably 60 deer.
Yeah, at 2 in the morning.
It was a fever dream. And we were all kind of falling asleep, and then Dean was literally falling asleep.
I was hallucinating, dude. I remember looking at the road and like doing this to see if I could even like see the road. I was like, "Is this the road I'm on, or am I going down somebody?"
Well, this was after we waited in line at Cookout for 2 hours because people wanted some milkshakes, and McDonald's ice cream machine was broke, of course.
Don't forget in Mobile, witnessed a drug deal at McDonald's.
Oh my goodness!
And also, what happened in Mobile? Something else happened in Mobile.
What did?
Is that the Waffle House the year before?
Oh, the Cookout. Cookout wasn't a better experience.
The year before in Mobile, they were
Yeah,
like about to
Mobile.
fight in the Waffle House.
We walked in. We every time after a game, we got to get food because we've been working for like 6 hours. We've had some interesting run-ins, cursing at the Waffle House. The staff was fighting. We walked in and we were like, "Is the seat open now?" The people who had just left, they literally shut down the Waffle House while we were inside the Waffle House.
They were like, "Y'all gotta go."
Man.
We were like, "Yeah, I think we should."
we ran the point of the story is like. We have some good memories, but the craziest memories are just what happened after these games.
No, for real. I mean,
I remember
I'll say
too. That was funny.
I'll say though that one of my favorite memories from this entire year had to be walking out from the tunnel and seeing Reed Green Coliseum sold out in white. Like that was that. I mean, I don't think we'll ever see anything like that again. The fact that we got to cover that was pretty insane.
Yeah, I'm glad that I got to cover that before.
Yeah, man. I'm glad I made it in time. I think I was covering like a basketball game that day at the internship at WDAM, and then I got there and I was like, "Yo," I was like, "What? It's so hot in here."
Yeah,
it's so hot.
It's so hot.
Oh my god! But just seeing everybody in there, that was special, man. And for Southern Miss to win that day and just see that crowd just erupt that way, that was special.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about what y'all did at Pensacola.
I will say there's a lot of things that happened in Pensacola, including somebody we thought we actually not joking. We thought we saw somebody die. We literally we were in the middle of the road helping this guy who's asleep in the middle of downtown Pensacola.
So I stopped out the car and
I called 911. I was like, "Oh, sir, there's somebody on the road."
This guy that just stopped at the wheel for the people that don't know, and then he was just standing there, and somehow, some way, his foot was magically on the brake.
Yeah, it could have been. We can laugh about it because it could have been a lot worse.
Yes.
But Nathan goes out and knocks on this dude, or is about to knock on this dude's window, and he just wakes up and then hits the gas like nothing happened.
Oh my god!
And then the ambulance was like, "Oh, this is a regular day in Florida."
They hung up on you, Tony.
Yeah, they were like, "Have a nice day." You called the cops? Not our problem. Pensacola.
In Florida is like I don't know for the people that play video games, but Florida is like a Grand Theft Auto.
It's literally its own country.
A bunch of NPCs there. A bunch of NPCs. Hey, if they hadn't, if I was able to cover another tournament in Pensacola, I would go again.
Yeah,
I would go again.
was fun.
The bowling alley arena smelled like nacho cheese.
I remember when Jackson bowled a 178 in Mobile, Alabama at the bowl game. That was wild.
Well, one thing I didn't tell y'all is I had bowled at that same bowling alley 2 weeks before, so I already knew what ball to get. So I started off hot.
Bro.
Yeah, you sucked. I remember Austin had that little kick his butt action. He was like,
It was not working, bro. Oh man! Another story also, man. When we were in Monroe, what was it? Texas Roadhouse? Was it?
Oh yeah.
No, walk-ons. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and the guy
4-3.
It was like the worst name possible. The guy's name was Billy Bob.
It's Billy Bob. That was his name tag.
And I forgot what he was saying. He was like, Jackson was trying to give his number to the guy. He was like 601-543. And the guy, Billy Bob, is asking how many people. And Jackson is like 543. He was like 43?
Yeah.
How many people?
Yeah. William Robert was not getting his message across that day.
Billy Bob.
He clearly saw it was 3 of us, and he continued to ask.
We're the only people in there. Oh wow.
That was like one of the funniest stories, man.
4-3.
Oh.
Yeah, man.
Man,
Terrible.
what a year!
Terrible stadium.
Yeah, that was awful.
The
Remember the red wasp that crawled onto my laptop in the press box, and I was like, "What's happening?"
Bro, they still had the OG Dish Network on their TV.
So interesting.
It wasn't working.
No.
We got past Tulane security. There was walk in. They didn't even check our camera bags or anything.
Yeah.
They didn't give us check our credential passes.
Like bags full of tripods. They're just like, come on in. Like, what if it was something, not good in there?
I will say favorite game if we were to decide Louisiana would be there, but football. I mean, we were at Tulane. I'm a Pelicans fan. Trey Murphy host. I got to see. Coach. I was standing.
Yeah, we know you like that one, Nathan.
I was standing distance from Coach O, like me and Jackson, and that was a pretty neat experience. I didn't have anything to say to him, really.
You were in Columbus during that game, weren't you?
I was.
Yeah, okay, interesting.
I think if we were talking favorite football game, I got to go with the cliche Louisiana again, Thursday night.
Yeah, that was
what a game. That's probably just the most complete game Southern Miss played that I've seen, aside from the Rice game. That was a complete game. Defense, offense, special teams, everything was clicking.
As far as experience goes, I got to go with Miami. Just like stepping on that field, it was just so surreal. Man. Charlie's out there taking pictures and slides, burning up.
Bro, I forgot my shoes. It was literally 110 degrees on the turf. I had to sit down after the first quarter. Like, I felt like my slides were melting.
It didn't make it no better because the sun.
It's not. They're not kidding about that.
Yeah,
Sunshine State.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Terrible.
Yeah, man, there's a lot of memories, and we could go on and on. There's plenty of other memories. Man, it's just been a ride, a wild ride, but it's been a fun ride, and I couldn't pick anybody, better to do it with than you group of guys. Nathan, Dima, Jackson, Charlie. Even Carter in the booth, man. Shout out to Rosie, too. Yeah. But it's going to be plenty more memories on 4th Street. Just to give the holistic part of it. Me and Charlie were some of the founders of it. We started with Kobe and Charles, if you don't remember them, if you've been following us for a while. But it started with just a dream. I came to Charles about it a while back. That was probably 2.5 years. Yeah, during COVID. Almost 3 years now. And I talked to Charles, and Charles was the head guy at the radio here at WUSM. And I was like, Charles, we need to have a sports show. I talked to Andrew Abity back then, I think, also, and he talked about having a sports show and stuff like that. We were like, we got to bring that back, and things of that matter. If you don't know, I'm pretty sure people know who Andrew Abity is, the Hub City sports guy who covers Southern Miss. Has been doing a great job for a long time now. But we were like, we needed this show, and we were coming up with ideas, and the first idea was the 4 Sportsmen, and I was like, I don't know, man. Like, what if we get 5 people in here or more than that? I was like, I don't know. But it kind of...
Revelation.
Yeah, revelation happened. And, some people think of it as sport. Some people get it confused sometimes. 4th Street Sports Bar and stuff like that. But our idea didn't come from them at all. It was just like, hey, if you think about it, I was like, guys, the track field is here. Softball field is on 4th Street. You turn, just make one left. You're right at the stadium right here on 4th Street. You got baseball. You got basketball. You got everything on 4th Street. The volleyball facility is there. And I was like, the heart of Southern Miss athletics is on 4th Street, guys. Yeah. And we had to come with some type of staple. And that's the staple we came with, and we want to continue that staple and that brand going on. And I know Dima, you'll do a great job, and for the people coming in that we'll announce later, they'll do a great job. And it's just been a ride, man. It's nothing like college.
Yeah,
it's nothing like this experience. We're about to hit the real world soon, guys. It's getting serious out here. But yeah, so go ahead, Dima.
Yeah. I just want to say thank you to Austin and Charlie for when I came in. Charlie, the first person I met, got me plugged in, and then I met Austin shortly after, and just the ability that I've been able to learn from y'all has really spoken to me a lot, and I just want to thank y'all from the bottom of my heart. Like you said, Austin, I couldn't have imagined doing it with anybody else. Jackson and Nathan been able to really develop friendship this year. like this semester, this past 2 semesters was like the best that I've had in a very long time, and so I like you said, Austin, I couldn't imagine not doing with anybody else, and I'm looking forward to the future, but this year was a blast.
Yes, I have a similar story. Charlie and Austin. Charles was actually the first person I spoke to, and then I came to the first meeting, and y'all like just welcomed me with open arms. I wrote my first article. Probably wasn't very good, but y'all acted like it was Pulitzer material. And it really just kind of gave me that confidence to keep going, and it really was a great atmosphere back then. And then also, this is a shoot here, brother. Everything you see here. Nathan, you're the man with the plan behind the camera.
Nathan doesn't get the credit because you can't see him on the camera, but Nathan's been here all year.
He is the Nate Dogg for
camera
a reason.
work.
Check out Nate Dogg Productions.
Yeah, shout out this show.
Nathan has a great podcast, by the way.
And then Austin, obviously you do a great job hosting. Dima, you're that guy as well. But this show wouldn't exist without this man to my left right here. Like everything.
Thank you.
These scripts, which is scripted just like the NFL. Yes. I mean, that video he made, the rundown of the show, just everything. He is the guy, and this show would not exist without Charlie. So just thank you, man.
I don't think the student Prince would exist.
No.
Just everything he's done. So.
You deserve the flowers, man.
Yeah, Charlie, you do deserve the flowers, man.
Yeah, I'll jump in here quick, make my spiel short and sweet. But as always, I'll give my story too. But I started. Charlie was the first person to come up. Actually, I first met Austin in social media class, a summer class.
Me about how to get a podcast.
Yeah, he had one. He had his podcast. So that was Austin was the first person I met. Charlie was the first person to tell me to join, and I just want to thank all of y'all. For this opportunity. I know I haven't been on camera and talking all the sports like y'all have, but these friendships, these experiences,
especially Pensacola.
Yeah, especially Pensacola. Those are things I'll live with forever, y'all. And y'all have helped me grow as a journalist and a person. And I just want y'all to understand that. And all of us will be shooting for the stars. I know y'all will get there, boys.
Of course. So without further ado,
we're gonna play a fitting song, and we'll be right back.
Without further ado, we're gonna play a fitting song. We'll be back and have our flower segment, and we'll close out. What we got, Carter?
Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of the show. We're now giving flowers.
And we're back one last time, guys. It is myself, Smooth Oz. We usually do our 4th Street Player of the Week, but we're not going to do that this week, guys. But we will have it upcoming on our social media for you all to vote on. But to close out, we just want to say a huge thank you to our fans, our supporters, and our advisors, and Southern Miss Athletics for allowing us to grow and be journalists and allowing us to perfect our brand as 4th Street. And last but not least, like I said, we want to thank our supervisors, Wilbur Martin, Chuck Cook, and the Jonathan McGowan. And just once again, thank you to all our fans. And we do have our upcoming host coming up. Charlie, you can go ahead and announce our new host coming up for the next year.
We will be dropping everything on social media, but we want to extend a warm welcome. We're continuing 4th Street Sports Show with Isaiah. He's in the room here, and also Tiara and Jackson, new Jackson, replacing Jackson. And we also will have, some contributors. We got John Benet and Maya. So 4th Street's going to continue going strong. So from Austin and I, from Jackson, Nathan, just thank you for everything. Thank you for everybody who supported us, tagged along for the ride.
Definitely.
Just thank you.
I'll be there too.
Yeah.
And last words, Jackson and Nathan, before we do.
Nothing, man. Thank y'all so much for this opportunity, y'all.
To paraphrase LeBron James, thank you.
Once again, thank you. This is Smooth Oz signing out with the crew.
Charlie, signing out.
Jackson, old Jackson.
Nate Dogg.
Nate Dogg signing out with us, man.
Demon Mix.
But be sure to check us out on social media. We'll be on all platforms still. Continue to follow Southern Miss Student Media on YouTube and follow the podcast. We're going to have more podcasts. It's just going to be more virtual and not in the studio. We'll still have our Zooms going on, and baseball season is still rampant, and softball still has a shot. So without further ado, this has been the 4th Street Sports Show. Can I get a drum roll, guys? We got to do the cook. I haven't been in for a minute. That's the last one from Smooth Oz signing out. Y'all have the last one. Come back next Monday at 5 on Southern Miss Radio. 4th Street Sports, baby.